From the WATE.com Digital Center, answering your legal questions. This is Ask Isaacs. Now, here's Lori Tucker and attorney Greg Isaacs.
And good afternoon to you. I'm Lori Tucker, along with our legal analyst, Greg Isaacs, for our weekly segment here, Ask Isaacs, here on live stream. We're glad you're with us today. This is going to be a doozy to talk about.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and show you. You're really going to have to see this to know what we're talking about. Take a look.
Hey, it's Nick Towns from Westmoreland. I can't believe I am on Wanted Wednesday. This is crazy. Anyhow, the sheriff's office says I am wanted for evading arrest.
Yes, everyone, we have a talking mugshot. This is from Sumner County, the sheriff's office there. That's on the central northern border of Tennessee, by the way, using artificial intelligence to, Greg, make a suspect's photo speak. What do you think? What do you make of this?
It's remarkable. And, you know, AI is really starting to catch fire in courtrooms in the state of Tennessee and all across the country. In 2023, only 11% of law firms used AI. Now, in 2024, 46% of all law firms with 100 lawyers or more use AI.
How so?
And the pitfall, well, it's a recipe for disaster. Often.
Wow. How are they? Because I know a big law firm got into trouble.
They did. And, you know, AI, whether it's ChatGPT or your Microsoft equivalent or some of the others, can do really remarkable things. But as remarkable and intriguing AI is, it is also packed with dangers. But the first thing we've seen, Nicholas Towns, the mugshot, the speaking, talking mugshot, really is remarkable because after this was posted, went viral, and he was arrested a few hours later. Unclear whether his public plea to have himself arrested was the catalyst for his arrest or not.
Right.
But this has, and will open Pandora's box, because all the things that law enforcement has done with confidential informants, pretending that things aren't the way they are, that somebody is flipped and they haven't flipped, snitched and they haven't snitched, all of this now you can do with AI. I mean, the possibilities are limitless.
You can give them any voice you want them to have either, and that's the Elvis Act, and we'll go into that a little bit later, but that's kind of part of this. You're looking at sort of the creation of AI there and how they did this, and when the sheriff was asked, why did you do this? He said, well, I just wanted to make it a little more engaging for people to take part in an interactive way as we search for suspects. They cut off the last part of that AI voice, and it apparently said, hey, you might find me in the area of such and such. But again, that's been taken down. He's been arrested. Like you said, we don't know if that had anything to do with anything. But this guy has been charged with domestic violence, felony evading arrest. He's been in trouble a lot. So can you see any positives from using something like this to catch somebody that has sort of been elusive?
Well, we've talked about it time and time again.
Yeah.
Technology changes the way law enforcement investigates cases, and the way prosecutors, defense lawyers, and other lawyers utilize those technologies in a courtroom. And, you know, it's interesting. And, you know, when you talk about AI, you know, your first reaction, well, how can you use it? It is remarkable because you can say, please draft a pleading on the issue of slip and fall at a TV station, and artificial intelligence will craft a pleading, draft a letter, and it's remarkable. But
it'll gather everything that is online in the information there in one fell swoop, but that doesn't mean it's correct.
But here's the slippery slope,
Yeah.
and the catch-22. Just because AI says it doesn't mean that it's true and accurate and correct.
Just like the internet.
For example, I was at a seminar last week, and there was an example, and it said to ChatGPT, create a wreck with a Tesla, Mercedes, and pickup truck, green, blue, and red. And, you know, it took it 2 or 3 times, but it didn't do it. But see, here's the rub. Recently, there was a case where a forensic video expert in a triple homicide case is playing one of the most trying to play impactful videos in the case for the prosecution, and the expert had utilized AI, artificial intelligence, to enhance the video. And the judge said,
Wow.
no, 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 no. Evidence is evidence, and if it's tampered with, manipulated by artificial intelligence or anybody else, it's a problem and it's tainted and not coming into evidence. So what you're seeing is experts that are relying on AI are being held to a standard. Does this science substantially assist a trier of fact? But the problem is, once you start asking how AI reached its conclusion, you can't get there. It's like trying to find out what the Wizard of Oz is wearing
Right.
behind
I
the
mean,
curtain.
exactly. Some people may say, well, it's just like Googling, only it's a lot faster.
No, it's much more dangerous and
Yeah.
much more in depth. You know, the other thing that's interesting, and you need to read if you are a professional or you're doing something that's sensitive to your family and friends. If you read the fine print, like where you go into um, and download your AI app, it will say, do you agree to this terms, this, and you know how we all blow through those, whether
Yeah.
it's your Apple phone, your computer, Microsoft Word at the office.
Yet I'm not a robot.
And I'm not a, except the talking mugshot,
Yes,
which
there's that.
yes, but importantly, they will tell you they can use your search queries and all of your personal stuff in training data and to build their metaverse of AI information. So
Always watching.
yeah, so that's why you have to be careful if you put something client specific or you put something that is specific to a family member or yourself. Know that it's not confidential, that now becomes part of the artificial intelligence universe and is out there. So
What,
crazy.
let me ask you this, and I may be putting you on the spot, but what if this guy, Nicholas Towns, were your client and you saw that? How would you feel?
You know, it's interesting, and that was my first reaction. And first, I would look at Mr. Towns and I would smile. But other than that, you know, unless it's now here's your danger, if it's slanderous, libelous, maliciously false, that can be a problem. But you know, on its face, it does not look like there is any difference in having a speaking, talking fugitive as it would be to have his mugshot on the back of a milk carton.
But that's just not his voice.
But it's not his voice. And that brings us to another interesting danger or dynamic of AI that we've seen here in the state of Tennessee. So AI has become so evolved in the last 3 years. The entertainment industry, people that try to protect trademarks and copyrights of music are being pirated by saying AI, let's sing let's sing Rocky Top by Elvis.
Right.
And it will create a really top shelf quality rendition of Rocky Top and Elvis. The only problem is the people that own the rights to Elvis and Graceland probably would like to get compensated for that or have you ask their permission. So
what are the regulations? Because I know AI is largely unregulated. The Elvis Act is a different matter.
Right. So we in Tennessee have the Elvis Act, and it makes it illegal to use AI for the purpose of reproducing an individual's name, photograph, or likeness without authorization.
And this also goes to those fake ads you see with celebrities endorsing certain things. If that happens in Tennessee, that's against the law. They could get in trouble.
It's against the law. Now, it's interesting that the Elvis Act, you can have civil penalties, you can have injunctive relief, ask the judge to make the person, the infringer, stop. But it's only a Class A misdemeanor, so it's basically a legal slap on the wrist.
Wow.
To violate the Elvis Act.
So if Nicholas Towns says, hey, I'm very upset with this, that's not right, he gets an attorney, can he go after the sheriff's
Well,
office?
who knows? This is all evolving. It depends on whether he considers himself to be defamed, slandered. If these allegations were false, he was not proven guilty. You know, but it does not say guilty of felony evading arrest. It says wanted for, which we assume is factually accurate and correct. But the other thing that people need to be cognizant of, we're seeing is people will say AI create a United States Treasury demand for business tax information. And it'll create a faux letterhead that has the a seal of the Department of Treasury and a form to fill out, and then you put it to a check the box, put your social security number, and then send it to some unknown, unregulated P.O. box, and wow, they have now got your identity, your personal identifying information, and you thought just because this was such an official looking document that you got in the mail, that it was something from the Department of Treasury or the IRS.
Wow.
So
We could go down the rabbit hole with this.
it
Like
is.
you said, well, it's been around for a while, obviously, but it's just now invading all these
And-
different areas we never thought we would see.
And remember a few years ago when Tennessee passed a law anti-spoofing.
Yes.
And all the things where people were pretending to be people on the internet and catfishing, whatever. This is catfishing, spoofing on steroids.
2.0.
And it is going to be interesting to see how law enforcement is going to be able to keep pace with AI. But what I predict you're going to see, and this is a great example, the flim flam artists and the criminals are going to be using AI. Law enforcement is going to be using AI, and judges are going to pull their hair out going, can you do it? Can you not do it? Is this true? Is this accurate? Lawyers are citing fake cases because of AI. And now think about that. So if you're tempted, if you're a student at the University of Tennessee and you're doing your doctoral thesis, if you're at work and you want to do that whiz-bang memo for the boss, or you're a lawyer and you want to do a brief that's great, just know AI makes stuff up. The law firm Morgan & Morgan, they got sanctioned for having 8 phony fake citations that they argued in court.
Yes, they brought those up, and that's a huge law firm.
It's
top
a huge,
40,
the
top 50.
42nd largest law firm in the country, and they fell prey to the lure of artificial intelligence. And all you had to do was open your book, read the case, and do a little work. But AI, Lori, is seductive because you sit
Because
there and
it's
you
so
marvel.
quick.
It's so quick and it's just so all-encompassing. But just know, just because it's in a pretty package or a creative presentation doesn't make something legal or create a legal exception for AI. You know, when you're thinking and you're tempted to use AI, take the A out of I and make sure that you're doing something that's intelligent.
Nice,
And
I
go
like
from there.
that.
But it is amazing that how this is rapidly changing
Yeah.
the legal landscape. But everyone needs to be vigilant, whether you're a consumer, a defendant, or you're a wanted felon.
And you can tell we're not AI. We're the real deal.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
I promise. Thanks for being with us. Let's talk more at 5:30, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.